What's the status of your health? Do you need it? Do you need any procedures? Do you need anything?
Not that I haven't done the exit medical. You guys are first for me, but no, don't plan on having anything.
You're not planning on playing in the Worlds, right?
No, I wasn't planning on it. No one's talked to me, but I wasn't planning on it.
You mentioned, the beginning of the season, obviously, with Gaudreau and Trouba. How much did that kind of make things feel off from the start, if you feel that way?
I don't know if it was something you come in and you're thinking about. I think, just obviously guys that were really well liked. I mean, I think more so, even with Troubs admitting it was hard for him to, kind of lead this team in his situation. And, you don't, maybe a lot of it's subconscious too. You don't really think, but I guess when your captain has that, thought and feels that way, just has a tendency to, as a guy that has changed games for us in terms of the energy he's brought and being able to change it with a hit or a fight. And I think sometimes that, could affect the team that sees that. And he was open with us about it. I think even throughout, I think the communication, with Labby talking to us, Drew talking to us, I think, it's been there. But again, it's also New York, and there's always going to be noise, and especially when we're not performing how we're going to be, it tends to really take over. So, I think it didn't help, but we also as players have to, we're not going to blame missing the playoffs on that. We had a long stretch of games after that where we still didn't perform well, and just can't let that happen.
In terms of the on-ice product, what do you feel like was the biggest thing that was missing from this team this season?
Yeah, when we were, again, in that losing stretch of 4-15, it just seemed like nobody wanted to, play with the puck. We were throwing it away. I think a team that's, we've talked about in terms of our power play just wasn't able to come through. Our penalty kill was good all year, but at times it, didn't come through. And, we weren't, it was almost like one or the other. We either would score goals but let up a lot, or not be able to produce any offense. And, our goalies would still make saves, but you lose 2-0. So, I think it just seemed like there was a, missing sense of cohesion and that resilience that we have come to make our identity. The year before we had 20-something comeback wins, and don't get really any this year. So I think that's something that we got to figure out why that was, and everyone from myself to forwards, defense, goalies of why that was the way it was this year.
Adam, there's going to be another new coach here, and it's a cycle now. 2 years new coach, 2 years new coach. Why do you think that's happening for this group? What is the onus on the group for this?
It's hard not to look at us as players and say, why is that happening? I think we seem to have a lot of success, and then I don't know. It turns out, again, I don't think us as players at any point didn't like Labby or thought his message wasn't getting through, but it just seemed the execution of it was not there. And I don't know. I think we want to be able to come in with a coach that's here for as long as we're all here, and even outlast us as players, because that means we're having a lot of success. And I think you look around the league, whenever a coach gets fired, I think players kind of wear that pretty hard, because if we did our jobs, those coaches would still be here. So I think whoever the next coach is, obviously it's on us to make sure there's sustained success and not just a quick burst and then back to being mediocre.
With that in mind, is this more of a look in the mirror for you guys, the ones who've been here for a while, as opposed to when Turk got fired or when Quinn got fired?
Definitely. I think, this year it was, again, everyone. It's a really look in the mirror. Even, the years before, we're still a pretty good team, made playoffs, losing 7 and didn't perform as well as we'd like, but this year was, unrecognizable as the team that's, made a conference finals in 2 of the past 3 years and has had a lot of success, and a lot of those characteristics and traits that led to that success just, again, weren't there this year. So, it certainly feels different. I think we're all asking why, and I think, even, a month in, I think we'll still be, trying to make sure that doesn't repeat itself, and the things that went wrong this year don't happen again.
Adam, there might be some, more change this summer. You guys prepared for, a locker room that could look different even in the fall than.
Yeah, you're always expecting change. Sometimes it's, more prominent change than others, but I think anytime you go into an off season and again, it kind of goes hand in hand with the success of your team. If you're having successful years, there's usually less change, and you have years, where you fall short of expectations. There's, change to be expected. So, obviously, those are decisions that are higher than the players in this room. I think all we could do is try and take, this season and use as motivation in the off season, and again, make sure nothing like this year happens again.
Okay, we time for one more.
Got traded. He said this could be the last run for this core. Does it kind of feel like the season might have been the last run for this core?
Again, that's when you fall short of expectations. You can't be surprised if there's change. Like I said, I think the group in here has had a lot of success that became not the identity of this year, and I don't know if even going into the year it was really, I don't know, to say last round with the core. I think if we had success we had, who knows what happens and who's still here, who's not here, but again, I think just the main takeaway is trying to take everything that happened this year in terms of success, failure, and lessons that how can we stop this from happening again, and letting the season get away from us, because again, there's only so many years you have successful quality teams turn over, like we said, and a lot of guys here are prime of their careers or in their peak years. So obviously we want to capitalize on that and come back next year and get back to those successful years.